All right, guys, this is your paper. This is the same paper you have. I just folded it in half so that it would all be in the camera screen for you, and you'll be able to see it pretty good. The width of a rectangle is 2 centimeters less than 8 times the length. The perimeter is 68 centimeters. What is the width and length of the rectangle? Okay, these questions are so crazy, and they're going to seem weird. So, here's our rectangle. We have a length and a width. The width of the rectangle is 2 centimeters less than 8 times the length. The width. All right, so we've got to talk about the width and the length. All right. First, we need to write our let statement. And we've got to let L equal the length. And we've got to let W equal two less than 8 times the length. So 8L minus 2 is going to be the width. Okay? L is going to be the length. L is our length. But the width, it tells us, is 2 centimeters less than 8 times the length. So we're writing our equation in relation to the length. We're going to find L. We're going to find the length. Then we're going to have to go back and substitute in for W. Okay? The perimeter is 68. Okay? Now, here's where it gets a little wonky, because watch. We have one length here and one length here, right? We have a width here and we have a width here. And we want the perimeter, which is going to be the entire outside of our rectangle. So we got to have all of those. And the best thing to do on problems like this is to label the problem so you make sure you get every single piece, all right? So look at this. We're going to have L plus 8L minus 2 plus 8L minus 2. And all of that's going to equal 68. Okay? We've got a length and a width. It told us the width was this. L is our length. Our width is 8L minus 2, because that's what the problem told us. Now we're going to combine like terms. All right, well, let's come down here and solve the equation. So L plus 8L minus 2 plus, I'm going to make these plus signs bigger so you can see that this is one side, another side, and then 8L minus 2 is the other side, and all of that equals 68, because we know perimeter is the whole the width, the length around that. The perimeter is going to be this side, this side, this side, and this side. Okay? All right. So now, we've got to combine like terms. So we got L and L, 8L and 8L. So let's just come, I'm going to come right over here. I've got an L, an 8L, and another 8L. That's 1L and 1L. When I put those together, that's 16, 17, 18. So I've got 18L. Then I've got a minus 2 and a minus 2. And when I put that minus 2 and that minus 2 together, I get a minus 4. So I've got 18L minus 4. And that's equal to 68. Now I'm ready to solve it. Now I've got 1C, 1B, and I'm ready to go. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I get 18L equals 68 plus 4. $72. Divide that by 18. And L is going to equal 4. Okay? So L equals 4. So the length is 4. The width, we've got to go back to 8L is equal to 8L minus 2. So we're going to have to substitute the 4 right here. So that's going to be 8 times 4 minus 2. 8 times 4 is 32. Minus 2 is 30. So the width is equal to 30. And if, let's just go back. If the length is 4 and the width is 30, here's my rectangle. 4, 4, 30, and 30. And if I add all that up, 30, 30 is 64, 68. I get 68. So I know that that's right. But I just substituted back in. You may need to go back and listen to me do this problem over and over and over and over until it finally just kind of clicks. It's like Mr. Priest said today. He said, it's finally starting to click. Sometimes it takes 20 times of doing something, but he's been watching the videos. He's he's been doing and doing and doing, and all of a sudden now it's starting to finally make sense a little bit. And so you just have to keep at it and keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. So I'll be asking you, write down on your paper the name of the person that I just mentioned. Mr. William Priest is who I was talking about. So if you write that on your paper, and I'm going to know if you write it right over here somewhere, and I'm going to know if you watched the video. Be sure to put your name on your paper and put a little smiley face beside your name. When you write your name right here, put a little smiley face beside it. And I will also know from that if you watched and listened to the video, because nobody's going to know to put a smiley face beside their name unless they listen. Find the smaller of two consecutive integers. If if the sum of the smaller and 3 times the larger is -5. Two consecutive integers means they're one after the other, okay? So, anytime you have consecutive integers, so x, we're going to let x equal the first number. So I've got two numbers. I've got my first number, and the sum of, and then another number is going to equal -5, okay? Well, the first number is going to be x. Well, the second number, it says, actually, let's do this. This is going to also be the smaller number. The smaller number is our first number. The next number is x plus 1 is always going to be your next number. Anytime you're doing consecutive integers, I'm going to come right up here and show you. Anytime you're doing consecutive integers, it's always x plus 1. The next one would be x plus 2 plus x plus 3, okay? This gives you your numbers. This is a kind of a formula. This is something you can just know. Consecutive integers. You don't have to know the numbers. Consecutive integers are x, and then x plus 1, and then x plus 2. This is your first number. This is your second number. This would be your third number. This would be the fourth number. And you just keep going up. X plus 4, x plus 5. So I need two consecutive. So what I want is this right here. My first number is x. My second number is x plus 1. Now, my problem says the sum of the smaller, which is this, and 3 times the larger. So I've actually got to multiply this by 3 in order to get the larger one. Okay? So now, how do we put all that together? We've got x is our smaller, plus 3 times x plus 1 And together, those are equal to -5. So I'm ready to work it. So I've got x plus, I've got to use the distributive property. Combine these like terms. And I'm just solving the equation up here. Subtract 3 from both sides. Divide both sides by 4. X is equal to a -2, okay? So the smaller number is equal to -2. The larger number is equal to 3 times x plus 1, which is 3 times -2 plus 1, which is 3 times -2 plus 1 is a -1. So it's -3. 2 consecutive, okay? And that makes sense because, yes, it makes sense because -2 and -3 are consecutive integers. Consecutive means one behind the other, next to each other on the number line. Consecutive means next to each other on the number line. Consecutive integers are next to each other on the number line. Okay? Again, these are 2 pretty difficult problems. Those problems are not the easiest ones to work. These are really good problems, and they are problems similar to the ones that you may see on the test or that kind of thing. If you can work these 2 problems, if you can watch this over and over and over and keep trying them and keep working at them, if you can get your head wrapped around these 2 problems, you will do great on anything we do. All right, a plumber charges $55 for a service call. Okay, so here's what we're going to do with this. I am going to go ahead and upload the video for these 2 problems, and then I will come back and do these in a separate video, just so that I can make sure that you are getting the videos and I'm getting them put out there to you. So I will be back. Get these ready to go.